had to buy a new helmet because you just had to. I think what Brass is trying to ask is what would it take for you to trust the reviewer that is putting out that content?
I am not your marketing demographic. I've been wearing a fucking helmet since I was 17 years old. I'm 49 years old. I
We
still wear a
understand that.
helmet. I don't give a fuck about what dudes that never wore a helmet say about a helmet. That's the rub. I don't care about you guys. You shot 2,000 rounds through an LPVO.
Civilians are untrainable. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. Today we are going to be doing an after action review on what happened on last night's live stream on Focus Trip's channel. Now, before I get too far into this, if you haven't seen the video on Focus Trip's channel with X-Ray Alpha, Lucas Botkin, Ben Steger, Brass Facts, Hop, Focus Trip, and myself, go check that out after this video. It is like a 3.5 hour live stream, and there's some excitement that's going to occur in that video. So have fun with that after you watch this. But I'm going to give you the AAR, okay? And no, this isn't going to spoil anything. This is just going to be an advertisement. Today we're going to be discussing civilians not being trainable or not training civilians because they're too hard or more difficult to train. Okay, so last night, X-Ray Alpha basically stated that he doesn't train civilians and he doesn't care about being an influencer. He doesn't care about all this YouTube. He used some certain words that I'm not going to use on my channel because I'm not trying to have the channel nuked. But basically, he was calling out Brass Facts, Hop, basically most gun tubers, saying that their stuff is trash. They're just out here doing whatever. They don't have any leg to stand on. They're not an operator. They're not a GM shooter. They're not that guy, right? And then later he backtracked and said, you don't have to be a GM. You don't have to be an operator to be a trainer. Bottom line up front, right? If as an instructor, at any point you say, this audience isn't trainable, this is just a bad class, it's just a bad group, these trainees aren't getting it, that's a failure as you as an instructor. So saying that civilians aren't trainable when it comes to tactics, rifle marksmanship, you name it, right? Those are the two big categories we're hitting on. If you're saying that they're not good at rifle marksmanship and tactics, it's because you're failing them as an instructor. That's an instructor. That's a instructor problem, not reviewing the lesson plan, not rehearsing, not reading the audience, and not preparing for the certain audience, right? I'm not going to teach a weapons squad or an assault squad, a rifle squad, the same way as I would teach a group of 10 to 15 civilians, right? It'd be I would have a different message. The drills and everything would be the same, but I wouldn't relate it to the same things, right? But the message and the POI, the overall lesson plan would be the same. So, I guess bad take, X-Ray, you're probably never going to see this video, but bad take on civilians, the civilian training and everything. It's a very elitist opinion from my perspective of what you portrayed last night. Basically, you hurt the Second Amendment when you attack people that are a reputable YouTuber like Hop or Brass Facts. When they are a reputable YouTuber and then you attack them, it shows weakness on your part, not on their part. To Lucas Botkin, definitely won't see this because he doesn't even know my channel exists, as he stated last night. Dude, if you don't want to train civilians, that's fine. But you are a very junior instructor, right? You're a businessman. You have a YouTube channel, a very successful YouTube channel, but you're not an instructor. You're not a well-versed instructor, right? And I can see that easily because you make excuses for the student, right? Me as a seasoned instructor, been doing this for several years now. I can tell you, with thousands of trainees and I guess how many, almost 1,000, I don't know for how many drill sergeant candidates, but a lot of people trained, right? And I can tell you, the second you start making the excuses of civilians are harder to train, that's you, that's not them, that's you, right? If you give a packing list and an expectation and they pay for said product or training, you are there to provide that training. You're not there to make excuses, right? So, in summary, civilians are absolutely trainable. They are absolutely trainable. You know, as long as they have the packing list required. If you tell them they need to have body armor, a helmet that's ballistically rated, ear protection, eye protection that's APOL approved, a 5.56 rifle that is magazine fed with 6 magazines, a handgun that's semi-automatic with a belt, and you tell them certain, you know, safety requirements for your range and everything that they need to bring to the course and the round count, if they do their part and show up with that equipment and they are safe, they should be able to receive your information effectively. So if you're counting on them showing up and you're counting on them to all be former Marine infantry, to have certain level of jargon that you can communicate, to be a cool guy and communicate them in a certain, you know, aesthetic, right? Well, you're failing. You're failing as an instructor. So get back to the basics. Focus on what actually matters. Focus on your lesson plan. Focus on your POI. Focus on what is important. What's important is the student becoming trained. And what's more important is that civilians do seek training, reputable training. So at any point, is if you as a influencer, even though X-Ray says he's not an influencer, you are a person of influence. Your sphere of influence is increased when you make content. If you produce any sort of content that people consume, large quantities of people, right? Anyone that I would say outside of your normal sphere of influence. So if you would normally impact 1,000 people in your life, or just use that as a rough, as a male, right? In 2024, if you would impact 1,000 people throughout your life, positively or negatively, well, as an influencer, you're influencing 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, several 100,000, you know, males that are seeking advice and training are seeing your content. So just because you don't say you're an influencer doesn't mean you're not, okay? And the term influencer is so cringy because it's viewed in a different light than it should be. Influence can be positive or negative. If you go out and you attack people and at any point you find yourself saying something like, if I ever see you in person, oh, okay. Well, you failed, and your influence, right? The people that you're impacting, that's having a negative stigma. Now you're having a negative end result. You're not having a positive outcome, right? And yes, discourse can sometimes be positive. However, when it comes to training and sharing ideas, if the person you're attacking has valid ideas and is actually pretty based, then you're failing again. Okay, so in summary, go watch last night's live stream. That's point 1. Point 2, train civilians. Civilians that are safe and want to be trained, train them. If you don't have the time to train them, give them a reputable trainer so they can seek the training on their own. If you're an instructor and you're trash, that's my pet peeve, is bad instructors, right? I have to work with them, not my direct, thank goodness. The people I worked with directly are awesome, but some people, I do see poor instructors every day as I am an instructor, right? So I see them and I see their bad instructor competencies and characteristics, and they're not following lesson plan and they're making excuses. What I saw last night was 2 grown men making excuses for their own lack of preparation. So as an instructor, do better, rehearse, read your lesson plan, memorize your courses of fire, make sure you can perform them in front of the trainees and candidates, and do better. Okay, thanks for being here, guys. Make sure you support all the guys from the live stream. Again, Focus Trip, Brass Facts, Hop, Lucas Botkin, X-Ray Alpha, I'm forgetting somebody, Ben Stager, right? Support them. This isn't a hate on any of them. They're all good dudes. I think last night just got heated. I think X-Ray was probably a little bit inebriated. That's what I'm guessing. Just a guess. And I'm guessing Lucas Botkin is a very junior instructor. Let's say, yeah, very junior instructor who's trying to go to his buddy's back, right, to get X-Ray's back and, you know, defend the Second Amendment. But defending the Second Amendment is a tagline that has to be, you have to dive in deeper. And if you're at surface level and you're giving kind of cringe advice, you should reassess. Okay, all right, guys, I'm gonna go into the gym. I'm gonna hit chest and tries and live my life. I look forward to reading your guys' comments down below. If you want to support my channel, there'll be a link to the Patreon. If you join that, I'll send you a link to my Discord server where we can, you know, hang out and talk about all the craziness in the gun world right now. Yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for being here, guys, and until next time, it's gonna be Trench Grenade, your average Mustang rant parking lot enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home, signing out. Cheers. Go get some training.